what you have in this local market, we have done well. We have grown from a company, one company, to a group of companies. So we have a PR company which deals with the issues of brand and corporate. We have a public affairs company, perhaps the first full-service public affairs company in Nigeria, which is based in Abuja, headquartered in Abuja and has an office in Lagos. And we also have a digital, what we call a digital experience company that talks about, that does things in technology and also digital marketing. And the last one is an agric communication company. So I think I would say we've done well.
And what's your agency's competitive edge?
I would say our people. Our people. I would say our people. Over the years, we've had a significant number of people who have passed through the organization, and they will tell you that the kind of development that they've received, they are highly sought after in other places. When they leave us, most people look for them, or they give them priority, and then we're used to many clients, the big multinationals, poaching from us, other agencies poaching up from us, because the kind of culture we run, which is driven by strong knowledge of what you do. So we've had people who have come in and they've said, look, where I used to be before, this is what I know. And by the time you're with us, even for 6 months, 1 year, remarkable improvement. We just don't develop you vertically. Horizontally, we develop you vertically. You become a lot more knowledgeable. I think our greatest asset is people. We develop people in the knowledge of strategy, so that they can understand the challenges. And if you understand our ability to quickly grasp what the problem is, and I've heard that said to us many times. We're at a meeting, a client presents a problem, and we can quickly diagnose that problem, and then we prefer solutions.
Okay, how would you rank your agency in its market segment?
I think you are a better person to tell me. On marketing edge, I mean, you guys have been in the business for a while. You'll be in the better place to tell us. I've only worked in CMC Connect as a PR practitioner. I haven't worked in another firm. We don't like to call ourselves an agency. An agency is somebody that carries something from one place to another, like a post office. We are more than that. We create. So for us, I would say that by reason of the fact that we've been here for almost 3 decades, we're still very competitive. When you talk about ranking, even though there's no official ranking list, I think we'll be somewhere up there. We still are quite competitive. So I think that, again, I believe we've done well.
Let's now look at the top 10 PR shops in Nigeria.
Number 1 is CMC Connect.
Perfect.
Number 2 is CMC Connect. Number 3 is CMC Connect. Number 4 CMC Connect. All the way to number 10 is CMC Connect.
What about your agency's imprint? Let's look at it. Impacts on clients, brand, and of course, equities building.
Again, my clients are best to give you that question, to answer that question to you. But I think largely, by the reason of the fact that many more clients look for a strategic intervention, even nowadays in something that does not concern us. They're doing something else, but they have come to appreciate the grasp we have for the problems, how we give them solutions, that they most of the time will even involve us in things that don't concern us. I think that more than any other thing shows appreciation.
A lot has been said about CMC Connect. Now, what are the landmark achievements, if you were to identify some of them? I know they're much, but just tell us some few of them.
I mean, we've transformed over. This business was started in my living room, where when we started, my living room was the office. So was during the day, it's the office. At night is the living room, and we've grown over the years. Like I said, we're affiliated to the large third, or one of our businesses. Our flagship business is affiliated to the third largest PR network in the world. We've taken part in some very significant campaigns, working with various clients. One of the proudest, which one I can't remember the good English, that very proud work we've done. We're part of the communication for the election of the first female president in Africa. We worked on that brief also. We've worked for some of the biggest multinationals, name them Microsoft, Intel, Huawei, Airtel, Shell, Peugeot, just name them. We worked for virtually all the big multinationals that you can, across various sectors, whether it's finance, oil and gas, services, Accenture, just name them. So I think you talk to me about milestones. I think they are significant. Was it when we got our affiliation? Was it when we announced our group structure? Was it when we launched some of our services? We've had several milestones in Nigeria. One of the things that stand us out is the structure that we run. And we've heard that said, even in many surveys, that the issue of corporate governance in our business is very structured. We have an active board which we report to every quarter. We didn't despise the days of our humble beginning. We put in those structures, and those are part of what have held us going over the years. So even though the business was started by an individual, our goal is for us to build an institution, not a company. What is the difference? A company is what dies if you are lucky after the person who started it dies. If you are lucky, most companies die before the founder dies. But an institution is something that goes from generation to generation. So we've got our eyes on the ball, and succession is critical to us. And that's why you'll find out that in terms of building the business, we've got younger people in. The average age has dropped significantly. We're empowering people. We're training them both within and outside the country so that they can take over from where we left off. My greatest desire will be one day to have retired from that organization, and I just drive past, or I see them on TVC or any other, or CNN, and they're doing great things.
Now, almost finally, as the current president of the African Public Relations Practitioners, that's APRA, what would you say are the common challenges facing this industry now away from Nigeria across the continent?
It's the same thing, the value of public relations across board. When I became president, I was initially the Secretary General. One of the things that I did was led the team to be integrated into the African Union. Because if we're talking about Africa, we cannot do that outside the African Union. The biggest challenge that Africa has is its reputation. And who better to help fix that reputation than the reputation managers themselves? So the biggest challenge is, again, for us to sell our business value to our critical stakeholders like the African Union, like the CEOs of organizations who are across Africa, not just in Nigeria, so that we can integrate more of reputation management and building into what they do. The same way that you take your accounting seriously, you take your laws seriously, you take your HR seriously, you must perhaps the greatest asset you have is your reputation. There's something going on in Nigeria. If you like, allow me to digress a bit. There's a challenge. There's an organization that has employed many Nigerians, or is employing many Nigerians, is doing very well, and the chairman is in some kind of challenge at the moment. The survival of that organization will be largely dependent on how we sell its reputation. So, for instance, that organization the issue that is at stake, there are aspects to it. There's the legal aspect to it, there's a social aspect to it, there's a reputational aspect to it. Let me ask you, what would Richard Branson do that the United Kingdom will allow you to jail him in Nigeria? Because there's a reputational impact on the United Kingdom if the head of that business, in person of Richard Branson, goes to jail. So at this moment, and maybe I can use this medium to say, the Nigerian government must get involved. It actually goes beyond this particular individual. Abuja should be speaking to Washington, DC now, saying that this matter, we're interested in it, because its outcome will affect not just us socially, it would affect us reputationally.
Well, let's end this way now. Tell us about yourself. Who is Mr. Yomi Badejo-Okunsanya?
I'm a public relations. I'm a reputation strategist. That's who I am.
Okay.
And I have the fortune to run a company made up of outstanding talents, people who can do great things, and who have a burning passion to deliver, to be exceptional at what they do. I enjoy what I do, and I enjoy working with the people that I do it with, because they actually put a lot in it to make the difference.
All right, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much.
Hello, food already. Have you not go shop today?
Today na my cheat day.
So what do you want?
Give me 2 wraps of pound.
Excuse me, madam. The client has just arrived and will be upstairs very soon.
All right, send him right up. Thank you. Mama, make I see that brocoto.
You know, see. For red brocoto and assorted meat.
That one.
Madam, stop me now. Customer knows which one you want. Amala, Ewegu, Pomo, and then brocoto. No, customer don't buy it. Ebola Abenyo, spirit of human being.
Okay, no fire. Now my name is that.
Internet customer. Abeg, give me brocoto. When she come, you will give her another one.
Okay, no fire.
Don't miss out on life's little pleasures. Upgrade to the super fast and reliable MTN 4G network.
Let my little.
And with that, it's a wrap on Marketing Edge today. Make sure you join us next week for a fresh edition. We have plenty more in store. Many thanks for watching.
Every major news story is with many perspectives and layered with different levels of impact.
Honey, what time did this happen? We will be right there.
At TVC News, we follow the big and major news, gathering the facts, witnessing the outcome.
I am here live at the aftermath of the approval of the new national minimum wage.
We are TV Station of the Year, not just for breaking news, but for being first, fair and accurate. TVC News, first with breaking news. People turn on their TV for news. They want the facts, they want it straight, and they want the big stories of the day right now. At TVC News, we know Nigeria is moving fast. There's a lot going on and a lot to take in. With news bureau and reporters all over Nigeria, we get to the stories that matter first, fast, balanced, and accurate. That's why we are first with breaking news.